Hi. Hope everybody's doing great today and this week. Today, we're having a little rain in San Diego, which is kind of nice because we don't get that very often. It reminds me of when I spent like 2 months in Ireland, but there it rained every day. Got to see a lot of rainbows. Well, I want to talk about vitamin D, and sometimes called the sunshine vitamin, because it's produced by our skin in response to sunlight. And it's fat soluble vitamin. It's a family of components including vitamin D 1 through 3. And this vitamins play an important role in calcium absorption for our bone health as well as our immune function. And a lot of times, like I said, we get it from the sun, but what happens is we put too much suntan lotion, and that defeats the purpose. So naturally, you can still get it before 10 a.m. if you're in a hot climate, or after 4. It only takes really 30 minutes to be out in the sun with no suntan lotion when it's not so hot and the UV rays aren't so bad. But a lot of times we still are deficient. So, I highly recommend getting your vitamin D tested to know what your numbers are. And then if it's too high or too low, or it's just right. It's always the best way. And we can get vitamin D also from milk and dairy products along with orange juice. A lot of times it has vitamin D added to it. And, I take vitamin D supplements myself, D3. And I put them in a smaller container when I travel. I just throw this and put them in here instead of carrying this big thing around. And it's all I need. It carries me through for a month or two, or if I'm just traveling for a week. It doesn't matter. Less is more. So it has several important functions. Perhaps the most vital are the calcium and phosphorus, facilitating, like I said, our normal immune system function. And it's very good for our normal growth and development of our bones and our teeth, and resistance against certain diseases as well. And if we don't get enough vitamin D, that's why I highly recommend that you get tested just to know your numbers. Sure, I didn't know I was low because if my friends may know, because I live in San Diego and it's always sunny, so I try not to be too much in the sun. Been there, done that, and I just know the benefits are, the UV rays are pretty treacherous sometimes. Good word. So I'm kind of saying like a vampire, and so I was deficient. Yeah, but then somehow, and I started taking the vitamins here. But when I go to Hawaii and I spend a month or two, I don't even have to take my D3 because for some reason I'm always in the sun, or the sun gets me even if I'm hiding. And it absorbs. Maybe I don't have enough suntan lotion, but somehow it gets to me in Hawaii, and so my numbers are great when I go there. But when I'm in San Diego, I have to watch my numbers, is what I'm trying to say. So, especially yourselves, if you live in like colder regions, maybe you're not getting enough. And because we have to be careful as we get older, or I'm not sure, maybe it even happens to us younger people. It can cause fragile bones or soft bones, so you have to be careful for that. So I'm sure you hear like vitamin D2, vitamin D3, and you're like, well, what's the difference, or where do I get this food source? Vitamin D2 comes from plant source, such as wild mushrooms, as well as fortified foods as milk and cereal products, as I mentioned before about milk. Its strength is typical, measured in the international units, abbreviation for IU on labeling. 50,000 IU capsules are prescription only. Don't take that high unless it's really recommended. Lower levels what do I take here? 25 mcg, 1000 IUs. But really, probably 500 would be suffice. Or less. Less is more, remember? And D3 comes mainly from animal source like fish oil, fatty fish, liver, egg yolk. I only like deviled eggs, scrambled eggs. But maybe you like egg yolk. While your skin is exposed to sunlight, like I said, it produces vitamin D3. So just don't put any sunscreen on until after maybe 30 minutes and then go for it. Or if it's between the hours of 10 and 2, if you're in some place where it's really hot and high UV rays. And that's why it's called a sunshine vitamin, as I stated. And let's see. Did you know that making sure that your vitamin D, D3, or whatever you want to call it, vitamin D levels are sufficient, it can help reduce the risk of multiple sclerosis, decreases your chance of developing heart disease, and the likelihood of developing the flu. I don't know about corona, just the flu that I know of. That would be nice. Hey, maybe it would help give us a chance to boost our immune system and get better if we do get the coronavirus, huh? D might play an important role in regulating your mood and wards off depression. And also fibromyalgia. There's been research done in those that are experiencing even the anxiety, like I said, and depression. So, you have fibromyalgia or any of these depressive things, maybe you're low on vitamin D. And people taking calcium and vitamin D supplements together can, even if you need to lose some weight, with these placebo supplements, they did a study, and it showed that calcium, the daily calcium and vitamin D put together, appetite suppressing effect. How about that? Bet you didn't know that. Let's see. So yeah, if you think, a lot of people think, oh, we can get it from the sun alone. Well, don't be mistaken. If you're using sunscreen, perhaps not. If you spend too much time indoors, maybe you think you're going to get it from the window, huh? If you're in areas with too much high pollution, big cities where buildings block the sunlight, you won't be getting your vitamin levels sufficient from the sun. And having darker skin, and this also higher levels of this melanin is less vitamin D can be absorbed. A lot of people didn't, well, some of you don't know that. So darker skinned people might be even lower vitamin D levels than they thought. Salmon is a good way to get it through food. Sardines, egg yolk, shrimp as well, but be careful with the shrimp. There's a high, there's always something else, right? Cholesterol. Too much shrimp, well, especially if it's fried, high cholesterol, be careful. You can get it in fortified cereal, not too much sugar, yogurt, and like I said again, orange juice. So remember, it's hard to get vitamin D each day through the sun exposure and food alone, so taking a vitamin D supplement might help. So just want you to be aware and get your numbers tested if you need to do that. Alrighty? Well, have a great week, and make sure you know your vitamin D levels. Enjoy.